Okay, our next game up for recommendation is one of the most confronting, one of the most glorious, and yes, pretty much the most violent game I've ever seen being created. But thankfully it's matched by a great revenge tale and even better round of gameplay. It is of course the hotly anticipated 2010 release, the PS3 exclusive yet again, God of War 3. Blood, guts and epic epicness is the theme as we take on Kratos in the third and supposedly final take on the God of War franchise. And this time we're after the god of all gods, Zeus. Much like its story, God of War 3 was heavily anticipated by the fans of the PS2 franchise, and deliver its promise of sword swinging, decapitation and an intense story, it certainly did. As God of War has usually managed to get the most out of the PS2, on the PS3 it strives to do the same with great graphics and amazing gameplay. So without further ado, we jump into it. Leading up to this game's March release of this year, people's jaws were dropping at the sheer size of battles that can take place in this game. With up to 50 enemies able to occupy the screen at once, the camera would then pan out to reveal this huge environment that would just look absolutely amazing mid-game. As we join Kratos on his revenge tale to the gods, we witness all this in sheer bloody glory with a thumping soundtrack and a quick recap over the previous games. We learn the story of Kratos as he continues straight from God of War 2 on the shoulders of the Titans upon Mt Olympus. The cutscenes are brilliant, controls handle well, and the loading times are very quick. This game has a real devil's attitude to it as well, as like if you fail a couple of times it'll ask you to lower your difficulty. Not to mention how gory it is. I mean, this game doesn't hold back, and it presents Greek mythology in a really cool and stylistic way as well. The God of War series has always looked good, especially on the PS2, and now it's on the PS3, it looks even better. Kratos is extremely detailed as he moves and battles in great style. You notice the cutscenes are well presented, each character has a nice artistic quality to him, and it manages to do some great takes on Greek mythology. The level designs are polished, there are many epic moments as you cast your eyes across a Mt Olympus, burning cities and the huge titans climbing beside you. Battles are stunning as you quickly juggle quick-time moments and slashing and dodging, and now with the new engine to control enemies' organs spilling out, God of War just got a whole lot gorier. It's a shame to see that Kratos doesn't have much of an effect on his environment. With these great, huge attacks, not even a stone is unturned sometimes, but it's still one of the best looking games you'll see. And the use of lighting is done extremely well, especially when you gain the use of Helios' head. Soundtrack keeps up with the thrills with the thumping orchestra, which helps take up the epic theme in the game. Many great voice actors like Rip Torn, Malcolm McDowell and Kevin Sorbo sound fantastic. Kratos can sound a little overdone at times though, but the sound effects themselves are the real winners in this game. With every thump, crush, squish and bone break, it just sounds amazingly convincingly real and purely intense. As you battle your way up Mt Olympus, you'll have three sets of attacks. There's the normal slash attack using square, heavy attacks using triangle, and a grab attack where you can rip off heads and destroy enemies in great fashion using circle. You'll start off with Kratos' Blades of Exile, but as you defeat more bosses you can gain more items like the Hercules' Gauntlets, Flame Bows and Hades' Claws, which you'll easily be able to switch to using L2 and R2, and they all have a special magic attack. While the gauntlets are cool, I would have preferred more weapons where it didn't feel so similar to your original blades, but I suppose they're all different from one another. You'll be using your Icarus wings in some great flying scenes in the game as you guide your way past crumbling rocks and pieces of mountain. Quick-time events are vast, always keeping you on your toes with different scenarios. Enemy AI is great as they develop new attacks and defenses, and you'll have to work hard on Titan to defeat them without losing a life. Puzzles are back, but not as difficult as previous games, but still as enjoyable as ever as you bring boulders and grab onto flying bird things, but it's really the boss battles that are the real thrust of this game. From the opening water horse scorpion thing to Hermes to Zeus, they're all intense and well designed as you slowly wear away their defense and then smash them at the end. Oh, and the Kronos battle, whoa! God of War 3 is a game quite unlike any other action game out there. Fantastic graphics, great soundtrack, and it concludes Kratos' story brilliantly. It's no wonder this is one of PlayStation's most respected titles. With the violence and the in-your-face graphics, they're just shocking. And then there's that raunchy scene with Aphrodite. It's purely an adult game, but it's told in great style and great gameplay makes it another contender for Game of the Year. So with its epicness, God of War 3 easily ranks as one of the greatest games available right now.
And I will wipe out this plague. Olympus will prevail.
Kratos will have his revenge.